For today's quiz, we have a very large Van de Graaff generator. This one is especially large, can probably generate 450,000 volts. If you don't know how a Van de Graaff works, there's a belt here, and that belt is going to bring charges up, charges build up, and they start to get thrown off the top. Our question for today is simply, if I had a gas tube, and it's hollow inside, there's a little bit of gas, but it's about 1% of atmospheric pressure. We have argon, we've got a little bit of mercury, mainly mercury vapor, and some other noble gases. Our question is simply, if I took this and put it next to the Van de Graaff generator while it was operating, what would happen to the tube? Here's what your quiz looks like for today. I'll hold it up. As always, mark your answers completely as possible and mark your confidence. Think of this as being, would I put any money down on my answer? For instance, I know this so well I'd put $5 on it, or $20, or I'm not confident, I'd put 0. All right, we'll pass these out. We're just going to pair you up. Is that good? Today's quick quiz was filmed in front of a live audience, and that's how quizzes were designed, to interact with individuals to foster dialogic discourse. Today, we had an alumni-only conference, and they were all adults and consented to be filmed. Normally, we can't do that with students. But this will give us a rare opportunity to not only see a quick quiz in action, but also hear. And so, one final note that I'd like to make about a Van de Graaff generator. Generally considered safe, the current is much too small to do any real damage. However, if you have a heart condition, if you have a pacemaker, or anything like that, you should avoid them altogether. Never use a Van de Graaff generator unless you're supervised.
I think the lesser charges when I jump off and cause some luminescence in the ball.
Yeah, I think so too. I would imagine that would happen with charges that are with the dome. Like pass it on to the bulb.
Yeah.
So the dome has negative charges outside, like around the dome, surrounding the dome. Yeah. So the fluorescent balls. You said noble gases, so I'm assuming that I think they're even out.
It's not gonna make a complete circuit here. I don't know.
Yeah, the human smack the ground because they're connected to the ground. And I think as you get closer.
All right, I have all of your responses here. If we could maybe get a group or two to tell us what you were thinking. Anyone?
From an ignorant standpoint, because I don't really know how this stuff works. So if it's negative and it comes up.
These are negative charges.
Right. And you have something in the middle, you'd have to connect it.
Mm-hmm.
If you as a person would connect that,
yeah, if you were to touch it, you would absolutely get zapped.
Right, so it connects. So if it jumps to the bulb and you're holding it, I would say it would light up because you're connecting it.
Okay. So you're going to say it's going to light up.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else have a different answer? Well, let me just push on that a little bit. I don't know if you've seen my shoes, but they've got really thick rubber. And I'm on the ground, so where are they going to go?
Your shoes?
Well, you're saying if the charges are going to jump to me, I'm wearing these big, thick shoes, and they've got rubber on them, so where are they going to go if I'm wearing rubber shoes?
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm just pushing back. I'm not saying you're wrong,
Yeah.
by any means.
So nothing might happen because you're not grounded, therefore the charges wouldn't have any reason to jump to you because it doesn't have a source of ground because
Right.
you're insulated.
So I'm technically insulated, and most of us are pretty dry, so we can kind of think of our bodies as being insulators. Clearly, if you had a piece of metal here, and by the way, we have metal on one side, metal on the other, but that's a pretty long gap of just an insulator of glass, and again, the gas inside, usually an insulator. Anyone else have any thoughts? All right, so how many of you think it's gonna light up? So we got everyone seems, so you don't find the insulating qualities of the glass and the footwear convincing. Go ahead, what do you think?
So you would still be charged then, right? The charge density and
So if they jumped here, and I'm holding this, which I'm not gonna, I have an assistant.
so until you bring it close, the charge density in the Van de Graaff is significantly higher than you and your bulb. And when you bring it close, it's going to want to arc to there, which would equalize the density between you and the bulb. So you both would be charged, not take any of those charges into the ground because of your fields. So I still think the ball would have those charges in it, but I don't know if the photons would get excited by that
So
or not.
you think it's going to light all the time or just once as it jumps over?
I think after arcs it'll light.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay, let's actually try this. I'll need an assistant here. How about this tall gentleman over here? Okay. Now it's really important that you don't touch it. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But just take it maybe in front like that. Okay. I'm going to use a very long woody stick to turn this on and off. And I also have a discharge dome if I need it. Okay. You ready? Let's see if it's working. Oh yeah. How's that feel? How's that feel? Pretty bad. Okay, we're gonna shut this thing off. This thing is really wicked. Okay. All right, go for it. A couple things that I want to mention. In no way does the electricity. A couple things that I want to mention. In no way does the electricity. In no way does the electricity that we have coming from our outlet come up to this dome. This is just running a motor, and I could very easily have a hand crank on here, and I could make the belt go up on its own. It's just, you know, it's kind of a pain to crank it. So what's happening here? Let's see if we can explain this. Anyone want to take a shot at explaining? I got an insulator, and gas is an insulator also. So how in the world is it jumping to an insulator? Yeah.
My understanding of how that light works is there's just electrodes in each side.
Yep.
So you just need the potential across it to be able to create that light for that gas. So all you're doing is, like someone else explained, there's a higher charge on the Van de Graaff.
Yes.
You're basically not charged,
Good.
really. So it's jumping there, charging you, but then you're getting dissipate because it's jumping to the ground. Even though there's a gap, the voltage is high enough, the gap doesn't care.
What about
it
the
does not
rubber?
care.
Maybe we should ask the assistant, how did that rubber work out for
I
us?
feel good on the feet.
Look, when we're talking about 400,000 volts, being an insulator is relative. So it's just going to jump right, did it come out of your foot and, or did it go through the rubber?
I think through the rubber.
It'll go
I feel it
right
on the
through and
sides.
around. If we had the lights off and we were filming, you would actually see it arcing out of his foot and onto the ground. So it really is making a complete circuit. But what about the glass and the gas? I thought those were both insulators. Well, as he pointed out, this is 400,000 volts. There is a tremendous amount of potential difference. We're going to establish field lines here, and it actually doesn't take that many joules per charge to rip those electrons off the atoms. And because we have an electric field, some of the charges are going to go with the electric field, the others are going to go against it, and they're going to knock off others. And when those electrons get recaptured, they give off photons. By the way, those photons are in the ultraviolet range, so we wouldn't be able to see them. That's why we coat this bulb with phosphorus, so when those photons get absorbed by the phosphorus, another process happens where it gives off visible light. All right, so the big idea here is insulators, they're a relative term, so be careful. All right, that's your quiz for today. Thank you for watching another Idealized Science Institute video. We are a nonprofit organization. If you like what you've seen, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you want, leave a comment below. It's helpful to us. If you can financially support us, go to our website and hit the donate button. If you can't, simply by sharing these videos with other teachers and students in your life will be helpful. While at our website, you'll find that we have our Idealized Science Institute book that'll help you engage your students in dialogic discourse. There you'll also find we have a podcast where we break down educational research. We also have long-form lessons. If you're a teacher, you can watch these and go in the very next day and enact these. Along with this, we also have many other resources, including more quick quizzes. So thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.